I grew up in one of the most remote parts of the world, and I suppose that is why I have such a deep love for nature, and especially for wilderness. I delight in the feel of soil beneath my bare feet and mist on my face, leaves and moss, the cold crunch of snow and the sun's heat on my skin. From my earliest years, I had a desire to explore. What's around the next corner? What's over the next ridge? What's up this valley? From those days on, I have pursued adventure, primarily by hiking, and preferably in wilderness. Hiking allows me to just be. It allows my body to work hard, but my mind to be present to the pace of the natural world, to disconnect from devices and the hyperstimulation of my working world. To get a few days alone on the trail is like detox for me. In my 30s, however, I spent nearly a decade competing against both amateurs and professionals in road cycling and mountain biking. This was my new adventure. I learned about discipline in what I chose to eat, how I trained. I learned how to push past the resistance of a body that doesn't want to work too hard. I have learned what kind of pain is a warning, and what kind of pain is simply my lazy side grumbling. Outdoor adventures taught me perseverance and pacing, learning to think in stages, rather than being defeated by how far away the finish line is or how far away the mountain peak still is. It might sound strange, but although I love adventure, I'm a naturally fearful person. I don't have a good head for heights, and my awareness of the big picture can cause me to be alert to potential risks that may actually not be very likely to happen. What overcomes this fearfulness is my desire to do things that really matter. And it's that desire that usually wins out over my fears. So this is another kind of adventure that deeply engages my heart and mind, the adventure of a cause, the adventure of making a difference. Perhaps it comes with having parents who chose to enter the world of the isolated Yali tribe in New Guinea, who set up home there and spent 20 years serving a people to whom they would give much, but from whom we as a family would receive so much more. Among the Yali, the hard life of subsistence living, punctuated with natural disasters such as earthquakes, exposed me to the immense hardship that people can suffer, but also to their resilience in the face of incredible trauma. This spirit of adventure is what took me, in the late 1990s, to South Africa to work in political mediation and leadership transformation. Here too I had to learn to face my fears. When you're driving in a convoy with a warlord and his bodyguards, there's a very real risk that today is the day that his enemies plan to take him out. Being followed and monitored by government intelligence services who aren't sure that our peacemaking efforts are in their best interests is also rather unnerving. But I learned to take risks for the sake of good things. And here too, I discovered that perseverance pays off. For all social change requires persistence and patience. In the early 2000s, I became convinced that the key to social change was not so much in the NGO sector, but in business. The marketplace doesn't just make money, it makes life work. Sure, the marketplace is flawed, and often businesses can undermine the very societies they're meant to nourish. Yeah, business requires a revolution in how we do business. And so, for that very reason, in 2007, I began Soul Systems, a management consulting practice. In Soul Systems, we help senior executives and their teams lead beyond the bottom line to create value that fundamentally improves the human condition. I call it tribal capitalism, the creation of value by people, for people, in a manner that is culturally rich, that facilitates human flourishing, and not just that of the customer, but the employees too, and which yields a lasting, constructive impact. This is the adventure I'm now on. 10 years in, it's clear to me that where I am now is just one more stage on the adventure of pursuing a better way of doing business. This doesn't discourage me. The The climb has been worth it, and it will still be worth it. Leadership begins with vision, and it ends with legacy, but between vision and legacy is unrelenting action. Acting on your vision again and again, day after day, with resolute focus, with dogged determination, relentlessly, for years. All great achievements, the building of value-creating companies, the abolition of the slave trade, the ending of apartheid, all these were the result of what the philosopher Nietzsche called a long obedience in the same direction. And that's the adventure that I'm on.